one of the world's most recognized chocolate brands. And how is it all made in a factory? Milton Hershey wasn't your typical businessman. Born in 1857 in Pennsylvania's Amish country, he was raised in a Mennonite family that valued humility and hard work. But Milton had bigger dreams than what his rural background could offer. His path to success, though, was paved with plenty of failures. After bouncing between a few different candy ventures, most of which fizzled out, he finally found some success with caramels. But Milton wasn't one to settle. Caramels were all well and good, but he had his heart set on chocolate, specifically milk chocolate. In those days, milk chocolate was a luxury item produced mainly by fancy Swiss chocolatiers. But Milton saw no reason why this treat should be only for the wealthy. His goal? To make chocolate affordable, accessible, and a daily indulgence for everyone. In 1900, Milton sold his caramel business for $1 million, a small fortune at the time. With that, he bought 1,200 acres of farmland in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, and started his chocolate factory. But Hershey's vision went beyond chocolate. He wanted to build a community. He created a town with homes, schools, parks, and even a zoo, specifically designed for his workers. Hershey, Pennsylvania, was less a company town and more a chocolate utopia, with perks that most laborers in America couldn't even dream of. Creating his milk chocolate wasn't all smooth sailing. In fact, early batches were a bit funky. They reportedly tasted like cheese, but Milton didn't give up. After many tweaks, he finally perfected the formula. And in 1900, the Hershey's milk chocolate bar made its debut. It was an instant hit. Suddenly, ordinary Americans could afford a taste of luxury, and Milton's chocolate bars became a national sensation. In 1907, Hershey introduced the world to Hershey's Kisses. Wrapped in foil by hand and sporting their unique teardrop shape, they quickly became iconic. Today, Hershey's produces over 70 million kisses every day. They say the name came from the sound the machine made when it dropped the chocolate, although Milton's marketing team probably just knew a good name when they heard one. Hershey's commitment to his workers and his community didn't stop there. During the Great Depression, when most companies were laying off workers, Hershey kept his employees busy by commissioning buildings and public works projects. He also produced special Field Ration D chocolate bars for troops during World War II. Designed to withstand high temperatures and sustain soldiers, the bars were famously unappealing, but they got the job done. Milton Hershey himself was a paradox, humble and frugal despite his success. He funneled most of his wealth into a trust for the Milton Hershey School, a boarding school for disadvantaged children that's still active today. Even his last will didn't go toward family or heirs, but instead ensured the continuation of his school and charitable projects. So, Hershey didn't just bring chocolate to the masses, he built an empire with heart. From the invention of the beloved kiss to an entire town shaped by his vision, Milton Hershey left a legacy that goes far beyond a candy wrapper. But enough history lessons. Let's get to work inside the factory. The journey of a Hershey's chocolate bar begins long before the beans arrive at the factory. Hershey sources its cocoa beans from countries near the equator, including Ghana, Ivory Coast, and parts of Latin America, where the climate and soil are ideal for cocoa cultivation. Each region contributes distinct flavors to the final chocolate, thanks to differences in the terroir. Factors like soil quality, weather patterns, and even the age of the cocoa trees themselves. Farmers harvest the cocoa pods by hand, cutting them open to reveal the beans nestled in a white, fleshy pulp. These beans are then fermented, which is a crucial step in flavor development. During fermentation, naturally occurring yeasts and bacteria break down the pulp surrounding the beans, which initiates chemical changes within the bean itself, developing the characteristic cocoa flavor we associate with chocolate. After several days of fermentation, the beans are dried in the sun to further enhance their flavor and reduce moisture content, which is essential for preventing mold during shipment. Dried beans are then packed and shipped to Hershey's Pennsylvania factory. Once the beans arrive, they're carefully inspected for quality. Hershey uses a blend of beans from different regions, which allows them to create a consistent flavor profile in their chocolate. The beans are then roasted, a crucial step that enhances their complex, chocolatey aroma and flavors. Roasting is both an art and a science, and Hershey's chocolatiers carefully control the temperature and duration for each batch. The beans are roasted in large, rotating drum roasters, which ensures even heating. The temperature can range from 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the bean variety and the desired flavor profile. Higher temperatures can bring out deeper, more intense flavors, while lower temperatures help retain the bean's natural floral and fruity notes. This roasting process lasts around 30 minutes and has to be monitored closely, as over-roasting can lead to bitterness, while under-roasting can leave the chocolate tasting dull. After roasting, the beans are cooled and sent through a machine that cracks them open to expose the cocoa nibs inside. Cocoa nibs are small, hard pieces that contain both cocoa solids and cocoa butter, which are essential for making chocolate. The nibs need to be separated from the husks, or shells, of the beans, a process called winnowing. Winnowing is done by a machine that uses jets of air to blow away the lighter husks, leaving the denser nibs behind. The result is a pile of clean cocoa nibs that will go on to form the backbone of Hershey's chocolate. The discarded husks don't go to waste either. They're often repurposed as mulch or for other agricultural uses. The nibs are then ground into a thick paste called chocolate liquor, a key ingredient in chocolate making. This liquor isn't alcoholic. It's simply a blend of cocoa solids and cocoa butter that forms the basis of chocolate. Grinding is done using heavy-duty stone mills or metal grinders, which crush the nibs until they release their natural oils and form a smooth, liquid-like paste. Hershey uses a multi-stage grinding process that gradually reduces the particle size of the chocolate liquor. Smaller particle sizes make for smoother chocolate, as larger particles can give it a grainy texture. The chocolate liquor is then transferred to holding tanks, where it can be processed further or combined with other ingredients. After grinding, the chocolate liquor goes through a refining process that involves a series of steel rollers. This step helps to further reduce the particle size, making the chocolate smoother and silkier. Hershey's rollers can achieve particles as small as 20 microns, which is about half the width of a human hair. This fineness is what gives Hershey's chocolate its signature melt-in-your-mouth quality. Once refined, the chocolate liquor moves to the conching stage. Conching is an extended mixing and aerating process that further smooths the chocolate and helps develop its flavor. Conching machines, which were popularized by Milton Hershey himself, contain large, paddle-like blades that slowly churn the chocolate for hours, sometimes even days. The purpose of conching is twofold. First, it creates a creamy, uniform texture, and second, it allows any unwanted volatile compounds, which can give chocolate an off flavor, to evaporate. Conching also distributes the cocoa butter evenly, giving the chocolate a glossy finish. Hershey's conching process is specially designed to give their chocolate its signature flavor, balancing sweetness, creaminess, and a slight tanginess. One of the key ingredients that sets Hershey's chocolate apart is its milk. Instead of using powdered milk, Hershey has developed a process for using fresh milk in its chocolate, which gives it a distinctive taste. The milk is condensed and combined with sugar, creating a unique blend that Hershey has perfected over decades. This milk-sugar mixture is added to the chocolate liquor, and together they undergo additional refining. Hershey's unique milk processing method includes controlled fermentation, which creates that slight tanginess that many associate with Hershey's chocolate. It's a polarizing flavor, but for millions, it's the taste of nostalgia. Once all the ingredients are combined, the chocolate is tempered, a critical step in the chocolate-making process that involves heating, cooling, and reheating the chocolate to specific temperatures. Tempering encourages the cocoa butter to crystallize in a stable form, which gives chocolate its glossy finish and satisfying snap when you break a piece. In the Hershey factory, tempering is done using sophisticated machines that carefully control the temperature to ensure consistency. The chocolate is brought to a high temperature, then cooled, and finally heated again to the ideal working temperature. Without tempering, chocolate can appear dull and may develop a grainy texture, due to unstable crystals forming in the cocoa butter. After tempering, the chocolate is poured into molds. Hershey's has a wide variety of molds depending on the product: classic bars, kisses, Reese's shapes, and more. The molds are vibrated to remove any air bubbles and ensure the chocolate fills every crevice evenly. This vibration is key for consistent texture and structure in the final product. The molds then go through a cooling tunnel, which gradually solidifies the chocolate. This process is carefully controlled to prevent temperature shock, which can cause the chocolate to bloom, a white, streaky appearance that occurs when cocoa butter separates out. Cooling at the right pace helps to preserve the chocolate's smooth texture and glossy surface. Once cooled, the chocolate is demolded and moved to the packaging area. For kisses, automated wrapping machines place each piece in its signature foil, with a paper plume sticking out. Hershey's production lines are highly automated, allowing each machine to wrap thousands of kisses or bars per minute with precision. The wrapped chocolates are sorted, boxed, and prepared for shipment, ensuring they stay fresh until they reach the store shelves. Throughout every step of the process, Hershey's employs strict quality control measures. Samples are taken from each batch to check for consistency in flavor, texture, and appearance. Technicians regularly test the chocolate's viscosity, particle size, and aroma, ensuring that every bar that leaves the factory meets Hershey's high standards. Hershey's chocolate is more than just a sweet treat. It's a brand that has left a mark on the world. From Milton Hershey's dream of making chocolate affordable to millions of people, the company has grown into one of the biggest players in the chocolate industry, reaching over 60 countries.